Reddit Martian back with another tip-top video for you. r/AskReddit. Teachers of Reddit. What's the most outrageous thing a parent has ever said to you? She doesn't have to be smart. She has to be pretty. She will find a rich man, marry him and never use chemistry again. Well, she wasn't smart and she wasn't pretty. So there goes that smart, rich man here. I can confirm. We specifically search for stupid, ugly brides. A lack of knowledge in chemistry happens to be my fetish. I have clothes older than you, yes, I noticed. Maybe not the most outrageous interaction, but it came with a twist. I had a helicopter parent get extremely aggressive and threatening when his daughter was given a B on her progress report. Whatever, dude. It's not a real grade. Chill. The student later earned an A because it was deserved, not because dad was bullying me. Fast forward about a year. He was arrested while on the family vacation to the home country for arranging and paying for his wife's murder. I wasn't that shocked, honestly. I teach math in an inner city middle school. I once had a parent tell me that I need to treat her with respect because she had a master's degree in typing and is not your typical trap beach. Needless to say, she was the typical trap beach. Master's degree in typing. When the heck did they get that? The early 50s. I was told I had their permission to punish their child if they were not getting 100s on everything. This was in an elementary school. I had a friend who got a 97 on his tests, so his parent refused to make him dinner. They let him make something himself, but he was not allowed to eat with them. Student's mom told me, in detail, about her vaginal reconstructive surgery. Apparently she had it done because, after having children, her vagina just kept falling out. That does happen. Most women just don't go around telling strangers about it. One time, a parent whose kid committed plagiarism on an assignment about the Watergate scandal actually called me Nixon and demanded my resignation. For, pointing out that their kid committed plagiarism. They failed intro to irony. Student and parent emailed trying to get me fired. Recipients: Principal, Board of Education, and Barack Obama. Edit: the student was half black. It was over a minor grading issue. And to top it off, the essays were graded by student at number and not name. Even if I had wanted to treat her unfairly, it was impossible to. What did Obama have to say? No reply. Thanks, Obama. That clearly the reason their son was making inappropriate sexual comments towards me was because I was enticing him with flirtatious private meetings. They were referring to the times I had to keep him back after class to lecture him on his behavior. I actually said, "Are you ducking killing me?" Which, I admit, was also an inappropriate comment. Those parents are watching way too much porn. A friend had a parent that insisted she redo all the report cards using software he created, rather than the software used by the school board. The parent also complained that it was unfair his child was given 0 on assignments the kid didn't do, because nobody had explained that not doing the assignments would affect the overall grade. My 7-year-old didn't tell me he was out of his ADHD meds, so we are out. Why aren't you making sure my child does his homework? The lack of parental responsibility amazes me. She said, "My son doesn't stutter, he's just shy." I was dumbfounded. I have been a speech and language pathologist for a long time, and that is the most ridiculous thing I have ever had a parent say to me. I really had to work to have a smooth reply. I worked at a preschool and there was one little boy with a speech impediment that made it so difficult to understand anything he said. He basically resorted to using hand signals or just accepted that he would have to repeat himself 4-5 times every time. The director met with the mom to recommend speech therapy, and the mom, who was a nurse, which would make you think she had some sense, declined, saying that her eldest son speaks that way too and they don't seem to have a problem communicating at home. It was so upsetting to not be able to help him more. Not sure if applicable, but I am a college instructor and have a few students that are parents. One asked me if I would like to do blow with her in the parking lot after class. A few years ago, I had a couple come in to discuss the behavior of a child who kept disrupting class. He would curse, flip his peers off and made other inappropriate gestures. Eventually I got sick of it and called them in. I don't know what kind of bullshit story he told them in order to make me look like the bad cop. I was actually appalled when his father had the audacity to call me a ducking Neanderthal for whatever the son told them I did to him. His mother wasn't much better either, saying that I was a buffoon for my actions. The punishment I gave him stuck, and I'm still questioning what kind of parents they were to this day. My stepmom is a teacher who had an incident of bullying in her class a few years ago. She called this kid's father, we will call the kid Billy, because Billy had been bullying another student. When my stepmom told Billy's father that Billy was harassing another student and calling him names like loser and nerd, the father replied, well, is it true? Is the other boy a loser? She didn't know how to respond. Edit 1. Fixed some confusing wording. I'm aware that my grammar isn't the best, so sorry I guess lol. Edit 2. For those asking, she teaches at an elementary school. After a conference wherein each teacher present, 4 to 5, said the same things, student was disruptive, skipped class, didn't do work, etc. The mother turned to the guidance counselor and said, I don't understand why all these teachers lying on my son. Her eldest 2 sons were in jail. I suspect my student may have ended up there, too. Parent. I find it quite frankly ridiculous that what you claim happens bears absolutely no resemblance to the statement my 12-year-old son has written for me detailing the incident. And it's quite frankly appalling that you expect me to discuss it with you now whilst he is not sat beside me to verify that you are telling me the truth. I nearly hung up on that one before explaining that I didn't find it that ridiculous that a son might have forgotten to mention that he hit another child around the face, called me a effing bitch and threatened to punch my lights out. This was the same mother who told me that I was denying her child's student voice. I told her he was allowed a student voice when used appropriately, not when his student voice was aggressively threatening me. I'm finding that I'm understanding my students a lot more once I've spoken to their parents. Teacher training does not place enough emphasis on advice for handling difficult parents. One of my teammates was told that the reason she had a student teacher was because she obviously couldn't handle her classroom herself. This year, I was asked if I work in special education because I couldn't get a job teaching regular kids. Took everything I had to not shout at this idiot. I had a parent chew me out for letting her daughter get bug bites at the daycare, on the playground, that happened to also have a barnyard and farm. When I tell people I'm a preschool teacher, they said I must have so much patience because of the kids. It's really the parents you need patience for. Funny added story. A mom made us stop playing Disney music because it was bad for her daughter's self-esteem, so we did, but the kids had already memorized Let It Go and sang it anyways. That I am a racist because I did not give her child an A on a paper that she chose to write on President Obama. The fact that it was poorly written, and supported by factual evidence, and completely disorganized apparently should not be taken into consideration. Also, that science paper my child wrote on photosynthesis and which you gave a C on is discrimination against plants. I had a student tell her parents that I was picking on her because I tossed her a piece of candy and she didn't catch it, so it hit her on her forehead. When that did happen, I apologized and she had said it was fine. You guys should know that before I tossed it to her, I asked her to come get said piece, and she said just toss it, and she wasn't so far away, maybe a few feet. Anyways, parents come in, call me every name in the book, and I couldn't care less. What got me fired up was that they called me racist for picking on their daughter because she's Mexican. I looked at them and said, are you serious? Is this some sort of a joke? And the mom proceeded to say absolutely not. I can tell you're racist by looking right at you. To which I responded, I don't know if you noticed, but I'm Mexican. Retarded but parents. This was towards the end of the year, so I didn't have to interact much with them after that. Edit. Changed to couldn't care less. Parent of a high school freshman. My son is struggling so much. Can you send home a copy of the test ahead of time so he can prepare? Insert grumpy cat nope meme. But my favorite, from a different mom, also of a high school freshman, was can you, the teacher who has 130 students every day, make sure he puts his homework in his homework folder every day. I want him to be better organized, but I just don't have the time. I have 5 kids. Do you know what you are? That's right, you're a champ. Thanks for watching. Like and share if you enjoyed, don't forget the bell. Subscribe for more videos. See you soon, Martians.